If you're running or starting an e-commerce store, you probably already know that you need email marketing as one of your main marketing channels. If you're watching this in 2024 or beyond, you know that advertising and even social media is getting harder and harder. Privacy is the top priority for a lot of tech platforms such as Apple, which means that you lose access to cookies, to some UTM parameters, to third-party data, making advertising harder and harder. And that's why you need email marketing, because that is an owned marketing channel, which means you fully own your audience, your email list, and you get unparalleled level of detail when it comes to analytics and analyzing the performance of your marketing on this channel. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Klaviyo, an email marketing platform of my choice for e-commerce brands, how to set it up with your Shopify store. So if you're using Shopify or if you're thinking about using Shopify and you want to use Klaviyo as your email marketing platform, make sure to watch this video. I'm going to walk you through every little step of setting this up and talk a little bit about how Klaviyo works. So stay tuned. By the end of this video, we'll have your account fully set up and you'll be ready to run with your email flows, email automations, and email campaigns. And by the way, for all of that, I have a ton of tutorials on this channel. So if you're not subscribed yet, make sure that you subscribe so YouTube recommends all of those amazing tutorials to you and you don't even have to think about, and you discover gems without even lifting a finger. And make sure that you like this video too. This helps me a ton. My name is Kasey, by the way. I run Luck & Co agency. We are an agency that solely focuses on email and SMS marketing for e-commerce brands. So we do this all day, every day. And Klaviyo is our platform of choice. We only work in Klaviyo at the moment. When it comes to email, we work with a few different platforms for SMS marketing. And so we're really, really deep experts in Klaviyo. And that's why I love recording tutorials like this, because I can share the knowledge that we've accumulated over years of experience with you. So with that, with your likes and subscribes, let's go ahead and get started. For the purposes of this video, I set up a brand new Shopify account as if I'm just starting out, and I'm also going to set up a brand new Klaviyo account. So let's do all of this together. I'm in this brand new Kasey Luck store in Shopify, and the first thing that I want to do is I want to go to the apps and find Klaviyo. So Shopify doesn't want to recommend Klaviyo to me, so I'm going to go to the Shopify App Store and then just search for Klaviyo. And let's just click or hit enter, and then this Klaviyo with this little flag icon is the app that I want. So Klaviyo email marketing and SMS, let's install. By the way, Klaviyo also now has a review app, so don't get those two confused. There's Klaviyo for email and SMS, and then there's Klaviyo Reviews, which is a separate app in Shopify. So this app needs access to all the privacy and data stuff, blah, blah, blah. Let's click install app. This should bring me to Klaviyo, and I'm going to, instead of logging in, I'm just going to create a whole new account. I'm not a robot, and then let's get started. Okay, so this is where I need my Shopify URL. I have to click a few other things that's about data and privacy. So the first one is sync your Shopify subscribers to Klaviyo. Yes, I want to do that. And then sync your Klaviyo profiles to Shopify. And then you can read about what each of these means. You generally want to have both of those checkboxes checked. And then we want to select a group of Klaviyo profiles to sync. All profiles or profiles that already exist in Shopify. So I'm just going to click all profiles. And then if you wanted to select the profile data to sync to Shopify, name, email address, and phone number are a must. And then we also want to sync email and SMS marketing subscription status and email and SMS received, open, and click events. And then custom properties, I probably wouldn't want to sync that to Shopify because especially with time, you will tend to create a lot of custom properties in Klaviyo, and really it does get messy. So if you don't want to kind of mess up your Shopify data with that, you wouldn't want to sync those custom properties. So let's uncheck the custom properties and then click continue. Okay, and right off the bat, one of the first things that you need to set up is you need to add your sender information. Sender name is what's going to show up in the, like when you look at your inbox in the left. as the from name. So let's call this Luck & Co agency, and then send their email address. So this is going to be the email address from which all of your emails are going to be sent, which should be something like hi at your domain name, or a lot of like the old technique is to do no reply at blah, blah, blah. But if you're a new generation company, you definitely want people to reply to your emails. Email is supposed to be a two-way channel, so you don't want to set up something like no reply, blah, blah. So do something like hi or marketing at blah, blah, blah. So I'm just gonna do hi at luckandco.agency and then click continue. How do you want to reach your subscribers? So right off the bat, Klaviyo is asking you, do you want to use email marketing only or SMS as well? And one thing to remember or to be aware of with SMS marketing, is that it's currently only available in the US, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland. So if you're in other locations, then SMS marketing is just not available to you, at least through Klaviyo. And then the other thing is that the pricing for those two products works slightly differently, and we can talk about it a little bit later in this video. But the cool thing is that you can always just start with email and add SMS marketing later. And really, if you're just starting out, like if you don't have a list yet, I definitely recommend focusing on email first, and then you can add SMS when you get a little bit more familiar with this marketing channel. But if you're migrating from another platform, then and you've already been using SMS, then definitely use email and SMS right away. So I'm just going to click email only. Check your email. Let me do that. Okay, so let's confirm our email address. And then it's going to continue onboarding over here. The next thing that we need to do is we need to turn on website tracking, and this should take about 3 minutes. When different events happen on your website, on your Shopify store, when people add stuff to cart, when people view products, when they start a checkout and things like that, even when they view a page, when you set up website tracking, that information will be passed to Klaviyo. And so Klaviyo will know when each of the profiles is doing any of those actions. And this is really the power of Klaviyo. Because of this integration and because of this website tracking, when let's say Helen is viewing a product in Klaviyo, you'll be able to see which product she's viewing, when, how many times, and so on. And so you'll be able to set up email automations that will help Helen go through the customer journey that she's going through. So we definitely want to turn this on. So let's click turn on. And the new thing, this is not used to work this way, but the newest addition is that we need the Klaviyo app embed to be enabled. So let's click this big fat button that's supposed to walk us through this and set this up. Okay, Klaviyo Onsite JavaScript is on. That's perfect. Then let's click save. Okay, so after clicking save here, let's go back to the previous tab and refresh it, and all done. It now says that the Klaviyo app embed is enabled. Apparently we're 22% completed, amazing. And now it's time to import your contacts. By the way, just like that, we're done with turning on website tracking, which is a super important part of this whole process. So
good job.
Let's keep going. Importing your contacts. I actually don't have any contacts to import because I'm starting fresh, brand new. But if you do, if you're migrating from another platform, definitely add your contacts here. If you click import, really it's going to walk you through all the steps. The important part when importing your contacts is importing the subscription status correctly. So if you just exported all your contacts from MailChimp, let's say, you probably were able to export people who are unsubscribed. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to add them to Klaviyo as subscribed contacts. You want to add them to Klaviyo, but as unsubscribed. That way, you're not billed for these people. Actually, don't hold me to this. Klaviyo billing changes all the time. I'm not exactly sure how they bill these days, but I believe that you shouldn't be paying for the people who are in your profiles but are unsubscribed. But the more important part is that if a person unsubscribed, you don't want to start sending them email marketing again, especially as you're migrating to a new platform. When you're migrating to a new platform, deliverability is very, very important. And part of good deliverability is respecting your email subscribers' preferences. So if somebody unsubscribed, you don't want to be emailing them again. So that's the important part when importing your contacts. And then of course, just mapping a different field. So that first name becomes first name, last name becomes last name, and then all the custom properties are properly organized in Klaviyo. But Klaviyo should walk you through this and it should be fairly straightforward. So I'm going to skip. And now Klaviyo is asking me to build my brand library. So we want to confirm our logo, brand colors, and so on. Let's do this. This is the fun part. So let's upload a logo, Look & Co Agency. And then the cool thing is that you can select your main brand colors over here, and that's going to be updated in all of the pre-built email templates that Klaviyo offers you. So I'm just gonna keep these colors as is. Actually, maybe let's just change the link color just for fun to something like blue. And then font, I'm gonna keep the same. Let's go to header links. Header links are kind of like the navigation menu that shows up in the header. I actually prefer not to have header menus in emails. I think that detracts subscriber attention. Like when I send an email, the information that I have in my header section is the most important part. And I want the reader to get to that right away and not stumble through the header menu that I have. So I'm going to skip this completely. However, social icons is something that you definitely do want to add for whichever social platforms that you are using. So make sure that you set that up over here. And then let's save changes. If you want to do custom fonts, go in here and set this up. If you're a beginner, don't worry about this. Using standard fonts is more than enough. In fact, when you use custom fonts, they actually don't display properly in all of the email clients. So I think Gmail or Yahoo, one of those, Apple Mail, they will still revert some of the custom fonts to default fonts. So at Look & Co Agency, we actually like to just stick to standard default fonts and just choose whichever ones are the closest to the brand's custom fonts. Let's go back to this Getting Started menu and let's invite your team. I'm actually not going to invite anybody, but you could. Klaviyo user management is actually pretty cool. They have a few different tiers of users. For the most part, if it's your team, you want them as managers. That will give them most permissions. But then if you're working with external contractors or external teams, you can also just add them as campaign coordinators or other roles that fit your needs. So let's skip for now as well. And now let's get to growing your audience. Growing your audience means growing your email and SMS lists. And I actually have a super in-depth tutorial about how to set up a Klaviyo form on this channel. So go check it out. It should be linked somewhere on the screen right now. And if you are not a beginner, kind of like intermediate or advanced level, and you want to A/B test your pop-up, I also have a tutorial for that. It's newer. It uses Klaviyo's newest interface for pop-ups, so go check that one out. A/B testing pop-ups is one of the most important things that any commerce should be doing because it's the biggest leverage that you have for growing your email list, and that is of course the biggest leverage that you have for growing the revenue that you get from this channel. So A/B testing pop-ups is something that you should be doing at all times. I'm going to skip this for now just because I don't want to make this video too long since I have a separate video about this, so let's skip. And then create an email welcome flow. So the welcome flow is actually one major flow for which I don't have an in-depth tutorial on this channel yet, but we are working on it. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe. So let's actually click create and go into the email flow interface. Oh, interesting. It takes me right to like this specific flow. All right, let's just do it right now. If you're starting your brand, if you're setting up Klaviyo, you should have your welcome flow right away. So let's just create it. First thing that you need to do is you need to select which list is going to trigger this flow. And my general recommendation with lists is that you should have one master list, like one main list, and then everything else, for the most part, should be a segment. So just decide which list is going to be your primary list, what you want to call it. Usually it's called by default in Klaviyo, it's called newsletter, but you can rename it. And actually, if you do want to rename it, let's just duplicate this tab. And I'm going to show you around and go to the general Klaviyo interface. And if you go to your audience on the left over here and then go to lists and segments, you're going to see a bunch of segments and lists that Klaviyo prepared for you in advance. And over here, you're able to sort or filter by the type. So lists, segment, and then starred. So let's just click lists and look at all the lists that you have. There's SMS subscribers list, there's a newsletter list, which is like the main master list, and then there's the preview list. Preview list is typically a list with just you in it, and then you can add your team members to it. And if you want to send something just to your team to preview an email, you send to that list. So that's what the preview list is for. So newsletter is the list that we want to be using. And I don't like calling it newsletter. I think it's kind of old style. So I call this Luck & Co. master list. So yours would be your brand name, master list. Let's click save. By the way, if you didn't import your subscribers before, but you do have somebody to import, you just go into imports over here and then you import contacts by clicking this button. So let's go back to our onboarding menu, and I'm going to reload this page because I want this list to be named properly. Luck & Co. master list. Okay, let's click next. And select who gets a coupon. Offering a discount or free shipping can increase sign-up rates. I wonder what this does. What if I do this? Oh, this is so cool. This is definitely new. So really, this is a decision that you need to make as a brand. Do you want to offer your new coupon code, the coupon code that you advertise in your pop-up? We skipped the pop-up part. Maybe we shouldn't have. But when you create a pop-up, the most important thing of the pop-up is the welcome offer. So that's how you incentivize people to join your email list. And so this step is asking us, do we want to make that coupon available to everybody who subscribes through that pop-up, regardless of whether they bought before or not? Or do we want to only limit this to new signups who have never purchased, or new signups who haven't purchased after a delay? That's so interesting. And depending on which one of these options you click, you'll see how this flow changes. So let's do the more complex part. Let's do new signups who have never purchased. What this does, it adds a conditional split to your flow. A conditional split is simply a way to split your flow into two different paths. So right now we have a path for people who purchased before, because the question here is, has placed an order at least once over all time. If yes, they go down this path, which means they're a prior customer. And the new subscribers who are not customers go down this path. Let's click next. Okay, this is great. These are all very important decisions that we're going to make together right now in this video. Do we want to use a unique coupon code, or do we want to use a static coupon code? Here's the difference. A static coupon code is something that you create in Shopify, and it usually looks like welcome 10 or hello 15. And that coupon code is the same for everybody. And so you create it in Shopify, you copy paste the coupon code, and then you use it in Klaviyo. The advantages of this is that it's simple and straightforward. The disadvantage of this is that it can get leaked to those, coupon aggregators. And a lot of customers nowadays, they go and check those coupon aggregators before buying something. And so if it gets leaked, anybody, regardless of whether they subscribe to your email list or not, can get that coupon code. And then the second downside is that in our welcome flows, we really like to set an expiration date for the coupon code and say, hey, this coupon code expires in 3 days. So if you want to save, use it right now. Urgency is really, really effective. It's a very effective psychological trigger in marketing. And with a static coupon code, you can still say that it expires, but technically a static coupon code cannot expire because it's the same for everybody. A unique coupon code is something that you create through Klaviyo. So there is a part in Klaviyo. I actually think I have a tutorial about that on the YouTube channel as well. So go check it out. It should be linked somewhere if we have it. So you create that through Klaviyo. It still generates coupon codes through Shopify. So those are created in Shopify, but through your Klaviyo integration. And then each recipient gets their unique coupon code that's unique to them. And this one can definitely expire because it's unique to each person. The downside is that it can get a little bit messy, and the way those are created in Shopify, they're not easily searchable in Shopify, but really you only need to search for it if there's an issue, if you need to investigate something. If everything goes and works smoothly, it works out just fine. I definitely like unique coupon codes because I'm all about personalization. That's one of the main points of email marketing. That's one of the main points of powerful platforms like Klaviyo. So let's go with this unique coupon code. Klaviyo gives us the option to create that right here. So let's create a unique Shopify code. Let's call this coupon code welcome. Prefix is something that you set up that would be this part of the coupon code would be the same in all of those coupons that are unique. But if we, for example, say the prefix is going to be W10 and then dash, all of those unique coupon codes will start with W10 dash. You're creating an easy way for yourself to identify those coupon codes when you see them in Shopify, when you see them in your customer support platform, as you see people using coupon codes. You don't want to wonder, where's this coupon code coming from? And once you have more Klaviyo flows and more unique coupon codes, it will get confusing. So I do recommend having a prefix. And now let's choose whether this is going to be a fixed amount, a percentage, or free shipping. Let's just click percentage. Let's make this 10%. I'm going with all the standards things. It should apply to the entire order. Let's say we'll require a minimum purchase. So only if your purchase is $50 or more, then you get 10% off. Activation is at send time, and then expiration is something that we definitely want to add. And I like to do after 5 days. For the welcome coupon code. And let's just click create unique code. And so because we named it welcome, now it's important for you to remember that. And when you see different Shopify coupon codes inside Klaviyo, welcome is the coupon code that we created specifically for the welcome flow. Okay, so now let's click next. Update your flow in the builder. Okay, that's the fun part. Let's click continue and wait for this to load. And Klaviyo will do a bunch of the hard part for you. And they also have this new flow experience, which we're not going to try just yet, but you can always switch over here. So the new flow experience is going to look like this. It's just a little slightly different interface. So let's go back to the old one. Now that you're in here, I actually like to rename my emails, and I'm just going to call this welcome one existing customers, no coupon code, and then this will be welcome one new subscribers. This is important because it will help us easier differentiate these emails on the back end of analytics. So when we're analyzing, when we're exporting reports, when things are named properly, it's going to be so much easier for you to analyze things. So I always recommend naming things properly from the start. So now what we want to do is we want to click edit in here and then go and set up your email. Set up the subject line, set up the preview text, click edit. And go make this email happen. Weird that they didn't update my logo, even though I uploaded that. So Klaviyo, you guys should look into it. Let's switch the message to the one with the coupon code. I want to see if they've added the coupon code automatically. Yay, that's amazing. Okay, so I just switched between messages without going to the flow interface, but this is the other email that is for new subscribers. And see, because we named things, we can see the name at the top over here. So the 10% coupon code that we created is already added in the text here. And it's added through a little bit of code, and usually you need to know how that code works, and that's something that I go through in that tutorial that I linked to earlier in the video. But Klaviyo just created that for us automatically over here, which is amazing. But do copy that, or do remember where to get that. And then let's click save, and then go back to the flow, click done over here. Now we're back to the flow. If you were to add more emails to your welcome flow, which I definitely recommend, one email is just the start. I recommend having at least 3 emails in your welcome flow. You take that copy-pasted code that we just saw. I'm going to show it on the screen right now. And then you just add that to the rest of your emails. And by the way, if you are to add more emails to your flow over here, the easiest way to do that is by duplicating the emails that we already have in here. And you do that by clicking these 3 dots, clicking clone, and there it is. And then you can do that again, and there would be a 3rd email. And again, let's just rename and call this email welcome to new subscribers. And then this one is going to be welcome 3 new subscribers. Okay. And when you do that, don't forget to add time delays. So you want to add a time delay over here. Let's say 1 day. And then another time delay over here. And let's say this one is going to be 2 days. We're done with the welcome flow, at least for the purposes of this video. Please let me know what else you'd like to learn. Don't forget to like the video. That helps us a ton. And then let's go back to setting things up in Klaviyo as part of the onboarding. So we're 50% complete. What else is there to do? Let's check it out. We've created the welcome flow. They probably want us to activate it. They want us to review it and turn it on. Let's turn it on. Just for the sake of this video. It's safe for me to do that because I didn't actually set up a pop-up that would get people in. If you're doing this, you should be doing the pop-up first. So now it tells us to create an abandoned cart flow. And yay, I do have a very detailed video for that on this channel. Go check it out. It's probably a long video, but it takes you through a lot of details. It actually explains a lot of intermediate and advanced things as well that a lot of YouTube tutorials don't go through. So check that out. Also, by the way, which I haven't mentioned yet and I should have, I have a product called Flowmaster, which is a collection of our agency's blueprints for the core email flows that any e-commerce store should have. So it's not a course. There are almost no videos in there, but instead there are blueprints, meaning, hey, this is what a welcome flow should look like for a typical e-com brand. This is how many emails there should be. This is what the trigger is. These are what the filters are. These are what the time delays are. And then let's go email by email in each flow, and I'll show you what each email should look like. These are the subject line and preview text samples, and this is what this email should accomplish. These are the main 3 pillars of content that should go into this email. And then at the end of it all, here's what a finished email should look like for this particular part of this particular flow. And then we do that for 10 different flows, just going email by email, and then showing you kind of like the big picture, how all of those flows work together and interact with each other. So all of that is called Flowmaster. I offer it for a fraction of the price that we charge our clients at Luck & Co agency because it's just the strategy part and you do need to execute and implement it yourself, but it is kind of the most important part, the strategic part of the email automation. So if it sounds like this could be helpful to you at this stage of your business, go check it out in the video description. There's a link there. And if you have questions, always ask me in the comments. I'm happy to answer. Now let's get back to this video. So abandoned cart, let's just skip it for now. A browse abandonment flow, let's also skip for now. Otherwise, we're going to get stuck here forever. And that takes us to 100% completion. That's amazing. Let's go back to home. Maybe one other thing that I do want to cover in this video is campaigns, because we went through like Klaviyo setup. So that's done. We skipped the pop-up part, but we have a separate video for that. We went through the flow, creating a flow, and I linked to other videos where we have flow creation. But one missing part of email marketing strategy that we haven't covered at all here is campaigns. And campaigns are one-off emails, like a one-time emails that you create, send, and then they're done. This is very different from email flows or automations that are sending on autopilot forever until you turn it off. Campaigns are very manual, they're one-time sends. And the thing that you need to understand about campaigns is that Segmentation is a very important part of the campaign strategy. And segmentation simply means choosing segments and audience groups that you're sending campaigns to. Because the trick and the big secret is that you should not be blasting your entire email list with your campaigns. Brands that do that overtire their lists, their engagement metrics such as open rates and click rates go down, and over time, as a result, their deliverability, in other words, their ability to land in people's inboxes and their primary tabs, deliverability over time goes down when your engagement goes down. And long story short, your sender reputation goes down as well, and that is a super, super bad thing to happen for any brand. So in order to avoid all of that, you need to pay a lot of attention to segmentation and understanding how do you segment your audience so that you can send to people who actually do want to hear from you more often. You send to them more often. And then people who want to hear less from you still send emails to them to keep them engaged as well, but not as often as you're sending to your more engaged group. So that is the art and science of segmentation. It's kind of a lot. I should probably have a separate video just about that. If that would be helpful, let me know in the comments, and I'll prioritize that video. But let's go to campaigns on the left over here and just take a look at the interface and what it looks like, what creating your campaign would look like in Klaviyo. So let's click Create Campaign over here. Let's call it Cyber Monday, last chance. Because today is the Tuesday after Cyber Monday. That's when I'm recording this. Let's say I want to send it on Tuesday, November 28th, and it's going to be an email. And I'm going to skip tags for now and just save and continue. In this next window, Klaviyo is asking me which recipients I want to send to. And this is the segmentation part. So as we've seen a little bit earlier in this video, Klaviyo did create a few different segments for you. So you can do engage 30 days, engage 60 days, engage 90 days, or you can just send to your entire list, which we don't want to do normally. Maybe a Cyber Monday last chance would be one exception from that rule. That is the time when you actually do want to send to everybody. But let's just say we want to send to engage 90 days. And the really cool thing here is that first you select the people you do want to send to, and then the second thing you select is people you don't want to be sending to. For example, I want to exclude people who actually purchased from me in the last 14 days because they purchased and I shouldn't be marketing to them again since they've already completed the action I wanted them to complete. So they don't have a segment like that. So let's go and build it. So let's open this list and segments in a new tab and create segment over here. Choose segment. Let's call it placed order 14 days. And then over here, this is where the segmentation happens. I'll try to slow down because normally we go super fast through this. But I know if you're new to this, that's actually the most important and the most difficult part. So you want to select what someone has done or not done. And then you want to search for the event that's called placed order. Placed order just means purchased. And then we want to do at least once in the last 14 days because that's what we are calling this segment. So that's it. That's the definition that's going to give us the people who purchased from us in the last 14 days. And now Klaviyo is going to take a moment to build a segment. For me, there's going to be 0 people in this segment because it's a brand new Shopify store. But then for you, if it's not a brand new store, you'll actually see all of the people who placed an order in the last 14 days. So now I go back to my campaign building interface, and I actually want to reload this page. And it didn't save the last time. Now I need to add my included segment here, and then excluded segment is going to show up here, placed order 14 days. Skip recently emailed profiles. Normally you want to keep this on, and this is just an automatic setting in Klaviyo that is super useful. And if somebody received an email from you in the last 16 hours, if you keep this on, this particular campaign that you're setting up is going to not be sent to that person who already received an email from you in the last 16 hours. So it's just a very useful setting to make sure that you're not over emailing your people. Klaviyo is always going to show you estimated recipient count over here, just based on all of the segments that you included and excluded. And then tracking, you always want to have on. So you want to use UTM tracking in all of your emails because that helps with your Google Analytics, with whatever other analytics platform that you have. Even if you don't have that right now, you will eventually need something like Google Analytics at the minimum. So do keep tracking parameters on in Klaviyo. They will come useful in the future. So now let's click Continue to Content. And this is probably looking similar to the interface that we had in Flows. It's the same thing. You set up a subject line, you set up a preview text, you double check your sender name and the sender email address, which we've set up when we were setting up Klaviyo. And then from here, you select whether you want a drag and drop template, which is the most popular and what you usually want to select. You can also do text-only email. And then HTML is if you custom code your emails, maybe in another platform, or you have a developer and then you just upload the code. For most of us over here, we're going to select drag and drop. So let's do that. And then Klaviyo will take you to the template library. And they have a bunch of templates for you to choose from that they kind of make available to everybody. Or once you have your own templates, you'll go to Save Templates, and that's where your templates will live. So let's just say Cyber Monday. I'm going to select this one, Use Template. And then over here, all of the text fields are going to be editable. You can edit the button, make sure that you link it to your store. And then if you want to preview the email in mobile format, you click on mobile over here and then check it out here. And then just do preview and test, send yourself a test. Make sure, actually open it on your desktop and your mobile, make sure that it looks great, and then let's click save, and then we will be done with the campaign. And I believe this is it for this video. I hope it didn't turn out to be too long. Let me know in the comments which parts were particularly useful, which parts were confusing or not useful. That feedback is actually also very helpful. I'll make sure that I record more tutorials and more videos where I explain things better. If you've been on this channel, you know that I read every comment. I respond to almost every comment. So all of your feedback is very, very welcomed. If you're still here, definitely subscribe to the channel. You obviously like it. And we have a ton of valuable content on this channel. So don't miss any of it by subscribing. And like this video, it definitely helps us a ton. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.